What's up, movie buffs? How we doing this fine Thursday evening? I'm Jeremy, but you already knew that. And movies are terrible, and you already knew that too. So in order to kick things off, we're going to talk about a TV show. Figure, let's mix it up. Well, if you've been paying attention to the channel, it's not really mixing it up because I love to do recaps of these Marvel series that have been coming out on Disney+. I've been really enjoying them. Hawkeye is no exception. We're here at episode 3 of this new series, and I wanted to share my thoughts with you about this. As you can tell, it is 5:30 p.m. on a Thursday. Jeremy, why are you going live 30 minutes early? Well, it's so that I can bring you the juiciness. I'm going to give you this drippy hot sauce review of episode 3 of Hawkeye before we jump into the regularly scheduled program. So at 6 p.m. I'm going to be taking a small break so that I can bring Caleb onto the call, and then we're going to continue on. So there's not going to be a stop in the stream. It's all going to be happening right here. There is just going to be a small intermission so that I can get him set up, and then we're going to jump into the Movies Are Terrible live podcast. Business as usual. But I don't want to kill too much of my time up front because we do got a lot to discuss in the next 28 minutes. First of all, shout out to everybody in the chat. That means you, Patrick. That means you, Patrick. That means you, Nick. That means you, Jay Wolfie. That means all of you guys. Leo, you too. Really do appreciate you stopping by. When should we come back for no Hawkeye spoilers? That would be at 6 p.m. We are switching gears. There will be no Hawkeye spoilers at 6 p.m. So just be ready for that. What's up, Jacob? Welcome to the conversation. Glad you stopped by. Glad you're taking part in the chat. Always a pleasure to see some new faces in here. I know that I've seen you in before, but it's not every Thursday thing. So welcome. Glad to have you. All right, so episode 3 of Hawkeye. It was called Echoes, and for multiple reasons, which we will jump into. In this episode, Clint and Kate make their epic escape. That's right, we got a really good scene where they are able to get out of the situation that they were put in the last episode, and it leads to a really epic car chase. So this is a very high octane action driven episode, and I think it really shines as being an action series. This is the kind of stuff that I was anticipating. We're finally getting to it. We get to see some cool usage of some trick arrows that Hawkeye's got, but damn, Kate Bishop got fined for some reason, didn't she? I mean, you know, Haley Steinfeld's a beautiful girl. We can all agree on that. And she looks nice in the first 2 episodes, but I don't know what it is, man. Is it the suit? Is it the rash guard looking suit? Is it the little eyeliner wings that she's got? Is it the hair? I don't know, man. It's all working for me. Damn, Kate Bishop, you got fine. She got contacts in, or is that CGI? Her eyes are like super green in the thing. But also, I love the fact that ASL is making its debut heavy in the MCU ever since the release of Eternals. We got our first deaf character there, and now we've got more deaf characters, including Clint, who's actually hearing impaired. He's not deaf. He had some sort of injury in one of the Avengers movies, causing him to lose his ability to hear well. And then also the new character that we've been introduced to, Maya. So, yeah, it's pretty cool that we're getting to see representation. And that scene with the father and the daughter, it melted my heart. It was so good. I really like the actor Zahn McClarnon. He plays William Lopez in this series. Not for long, he's also in Westworld. He played Crow Daddy in Dr. Sleep. He played Akachita in Westworld, and he's even the Sheriff Big in Reservation Dogs, which if you're not watching Reservation Dogs, do yourself a favor. It is fantastic comedy drama brought to you by Taika Waititi and others. I can't remember what the name of the creator was. But anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. I want to talk for a second about representation, because as I'm watching this scene between this father and daughter, Native Americans, which not near enough representation in movies, and the conversation they're having, I'm just thinking, like, who doesn't want this? Like, yeah, it might be cynical by Marvel and Disney. I know that they're motivated by money, and that's kind of first and foremost as their objectives, but I will say, if even one end user, if even one person that sees this series sees themselves in young Maya or Maya as an adult, or any of these characters, I think that is profoundly important, and I think it is worth saying, and I think we should get to a place where, like, okay, so what? The corporations are cynical. The point is, what about the people who are watching this? I thought it was just a beautiful thing, simple little moment, but it had me thinking, and it had me feeling, and I really did appreciate that. So, yeah. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Wolfie! Enjoy that, man. Enjoy that. That sounds fun. One of these cons of living in the... Oh, cons. I thought you were going to a convention. Oh, well. Sorry about that. I try to do later or earlier on Saturdays sometimes. But, so in addition to Zahn McLaren being in it, or McLaren, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Apologies. Darnell Bissau plays Little Maya, a girl that is an amputee or wears a prosthetic limb, as well as is deaf. And then the grown-up version of Maya is Alaqua Cox. And, man, she's really convincing as an action star. She really did kick ass in that scene in the boxing ring. I thought that was fantastic. And they're actually building a series out around that character herself. Her name is it Echo? Yeah. Her comic book character name is Echo. She's got a relationship with a very iconic character from the MCU, portrayed by Vincent D'Onofrio. You may know him by the name Kingpin. He is the same performer that played Kingpin in Daredevil, and I think we can all be pretty sure that was Vincent D'Onofrio's voice in the one scene where we see his hand touch her shoulder. I was like, oh shit! They just now did it, dude. They just now put Kingpin in the MCU. That is tight, dude. That version of Kingpin is fucking nuts. Really good. Like, what a great performance. So I don't believe that Ronan was a man. I don't believe the Ronan that killed Mara's father was a Maya, not Mara. I don't believe that the person that killed Maya's father was a man. I think that it was either Yelena, because we know she's got to be making an appearance somewhere. It was either Yelena, because they set it up at the end of Black Widow, or alternatively, my other theory is that it's Kate's mother. I believe that the sounds that we heard were a woman's grunting and groaning inside that warehouse scene. I think it was either Yelena or I think it's Kate's mother. Guys, let me know what you think in the chat. Would very much be curious to hear about it. I would see myself as Hawkeye, but my ears are too damn big. Hey, that's relatable. Trust a bro. Good shit, dude. Trust a bro. What a great little gag just on the side of that van that pursues him at the end. And Hawkeye's non-lethal bow and arrow skills are pretty impressive. I'm like, fucking, how many people does he kill in this? But then I rewatched it. I'm like, okay, all of those are like shoulder hits and like in the foot or whatever. Like, I guess he's not killing all of these people who are just working and probably eager to get back to their families as well for the holiday season. But henchmen, fuck them. You know what I mean? If they're not main characters, fuck them. They can get shot and killed all through the show. Nobody gives a shit. But I don't think he was murdering everybody. I don't know. Patrick, you actually like the theory of Kate's mother. I do believe that they're setting her up to be the villain of the series, and it would make sense to find out that one of the people that... Because they had the Ronin suit in their possession somehow, right? The stepdad ended up with the sword. Like a swordsman would, you know. Oh, dude, that car chase was so good, though, and I don't know if you noticed this, but at one point it plays a small composition from Beethoven, who is a deaf composer. So there's a little piece of music in there before it goes into the Nutcracker Suite, which is Russian musical. What am I trying to say? Yeah, it's a Russian musical, so I'm wondering if there's a connection there between Yelena and the Tracksuit Mafia. Just something I was thinking about. And we get to see some badass Ant-Man tech in this episode as well, which I thought was a lot of fun. But I do believe Kate's mother, Yelena, probably killed William. So I'm over here on CNET, and I wanted to kind of just run through the plot breakdown so that we can touch on some of the major stuff and see if there's anything I missed, see if there's anything you guys want to key in on, and we'll have a conversation. Yeah, dude. I always good to hear from you, my friend. Always good to hear from you. Already in-house, and then there are those moments where her very intelligent mom acts completely clueless, and I ain't buying it. Yeah, absolutely. So a chunk of this episode is spent on Maya's origin story and how she overcame the challenges of being deaf as she grew up. It's subtly implied that her incredible physical ability comes from watching as her dad advised her to. So she's got a similar power set to Taskmaster, and just because there are so many characters at this point in the MCU, we're going to start seeing some redundancies. Some of the powers that we are seeing are powers that other characters possess, which, if you think about it in terms of flight, like, nobody gets mad when 5 characters fly. You know what I mean? So, I think that the fact that we are, like, starting to see multiple characters have similar power sets, it makes sense. It's just kind of the way that things are going to have to start going. She, in the comic books, becomes a concert-level pianist by observing someone play, and gained amazing martial arts and acrobatic skills watching recordings of fights. She's mixed up with a bad crowd in the MCU, but she's probably going to step away from that life since getting her own Disney Plus show. Oh yeah, like I mentioned a minute ago, she is actually going to get her own spinoff, which, if I'm being honest, an Echo series wasn't at the top of my Christmas list for things I give a shit about. That said, maybe they can do it great. I actually did think the character was really well done, and I like the performer in it, so I'm open to it. And we'll see how things go. Let's see. In the MCU, Maya's on a quest for vengeance against Ronan, who killed her father and a bunch of others during his campaign against New York City's criminal underworld. A captive Clint tells her that Black Widow killed Ronan, but she's not convinced. Giving her observational ability, it's possible that she watched Clint's moves during their fight afterwards and linked him to Ronan. Maya's underling... so that right there is kind of saying that she thinks it's Clint because she saw his fighting style. I don't think any of us believe that Clint was the Ronan that murdered that guy. That would be a very tough pill to swallow, even though fucking Nat murdered a little girl just under the assumption that her dad was inside that building, which, not a very cool thing to do, Nat. Not a very cool thing to do. Her underling, Kazi, later tries unsuccessfully to convince Maya to forget about Ronan, noting that their unseen boss wants them to keep a low profile. He apparently wouldn't be happy with what she's doing. Uncle Kingpin. It looks like we are probably going to get Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin in the MCU, and it's pretty exciting. I know tonally he was quite a hardcore character to see him fit into this PG-13 world, but I don't really have any serious issues with that. After episode 1's reference to a head of organized crime removed from power by Ronan, we get hints about Maya's shadowy boss. In the flashback to her martial arts class, this uncle lovingly pinches her cheek and chuckles softly in a very Vincent D'Onofrio manner. D'Onofrio played Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, in 3 seasons of Daredevil. We last saw him being dragged off to prison in that show's finale, but that took place before the snap, and it's likely he's either been released or is rebuilding his empire from behind bars. The flashback to the moment Ronan kills Maya's dad might also allude to Fisk. It takes place at a Fat Man Auto Repair. The crime boss has often been called Fat in the comics since his first appearance in 1967, but that's a misnomer. His body is primarily muscle, and he regularly proves it by brutally murdering people. Comics Fisk adopted Maya after killing her father, who was a mob enforcer, and it's likely the events played out similarly in the MCU. It's possible Fisk manipulated Clint into attacking the auto repair shop. This article is really operating under the assumption that Clint is the one that killed William, but I don't buy it. Maya's uncle is also seen wearing a black shirt and suit combo in the flashback, much like the one Fisk wore in season 1 of Daredevil. He switched to the character's signature white suit in the 3rd season. Caleb, what's up, man? Got some audio issues. See if we can't get that tightened up, and I'm gonna keep going for
all right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Cool.
I'm gonna go through these last couple of things, and then we will put a pin in it.
No rush, man. I was just listening.
All right, so in this episode, we get to see the use of some trick arrows. We know that Clint's got a couple of neat tricks up his sleeve, but we've never quite seen them used like this, and I thought it was cool. There's a epic car chase as Clint and Kate escape Maya's clutches to the tune of A Mad Russian's Christmas by the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. They empty a whole bunch of fancy arrows. Hold up, is that... I swore that was from the Nutcracker. Maybe it's not. Hey, what do I know? So there's a Putty Arrow, which covers the tracksuit's windshield in purple putty. I thought that was cool. We got an exploding arrow. Pretty standard stuff. The Plunger Arrow sticks to that awesome 72 Challenger and later helps Clint and Kate climb onto the train. We got an Octo Arrow, which pulls a bunch of Christmas trees onto the tracksuit's van with rope lines. An Acid Arrow, which melts through a stoplight. A Smoke Arrow, which fills the Challenger with purple smoke. And then the USB arrow, which was cool, the grapple arrow, and my favorite, the Pym arrow, which makes an ordinary arrow grow ridiculously large with Hank Pym's tech, which allows Ant-Man to change size, wrecking the tracksuit's van. Let's see what's going on. King Dingling in the chat. What's up, my man? Nerd Shuttle, how you guys doing? Thank you for coming by and being a part of the conversation. Yeah, Caleb will be on in just a few minutes. Thank you for coming by, Patrick Stewart. We really appreciate it. Always a pleasure to hear from you. Nerd Shuttle says it might be too early to say this, but so far Hawkeye is my favorite of the Disney Plus shows, I think. Might be tied with Falcon and Winter Soldier. I like where your head's at. I like the more grounded and more realistic take on the MCU. Patrick Stewart coming through clutch with the $9.99 super chat. It has been a while since I've seen one of those animations, my bro, and I love you for it. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. After escaping Maya and the tracksuits, Clint and Kate go to her mom, Eleanor Bishop's magnificent penthouse to get more information on their adversaries through Bishop's security files. Kate gets a brief glance at the file of Kazi and sees that he works for Sloan Limited, which sure sounds like a front company. I don't know anything about that. She tries to look up the file on her would-be stepfather, Jack Duquesne, but gets locked out of the system, presumably because Jack wanted to stop people from looking into him. Well, that would make sense. Wandering around the apartment, Clint suddenly finds the Ronin sword which Jack stole from the tracksuits, attacked Episode 1's Underworld auction at his throat. Don't move, he says, and we already know that Jack is a super skilled swordsman and likely murdered his uncle Armand III. Maybe he killed Maya's dad. Maybe. It seems like he's been manipulating Eleanor to get to her security company's resources, but it's also possible that she's in on it, given that we heard Armand confronting her about the company being built on a lie. So real quick, before we wrap this thing up, I do want to hear from you. Let me know so far what you think about Episode 3 in particular and what your thoughts are on the series up to this point. So as far as Easter eggs go, the quote, good thing they call you Hawkeye and not Hawk Ear. That's pretty funny. Maya should ask Shang-Chi about meeting some of them dragons. Yes, there's a point where Maya asks if dragons are real and her father says, not in this world, which is inaccurate. Inaccurate on multiple counts. Inaccurate because we saw one in Shang-Chi, because there's a skeleton in the Defenders, because Thor fights a dragon-like creature in Ragnarok. I mean, we've seen dragons in the MCU, so maybe he's just never seen dragons. But he leaves a bloody handprint on her face as he dies, which is like in the comics. There's like a white hand across her face as part of her costume. I thought it was an allusion to the hand. I'm over here thinking about Daredevil, and I was like, oh, look, a red handprint on her face. She must be part of the hand. But I don't know. Black Widow kind of did kill Ronin by convincing Clint to abandon his murder quest and rejoin the surviving Avengers in Endgame. I think we all got that. When he said that Black Widow's the one that killed Ronin, I think we kind of understood he meant metaphorically. Maya's prosthetic leg wasn't in the comics, but as a characteristic of the actor that's been worked into the show, she uses it to smash a hockey stick during her fight with Clint. Kate draws Hawkeye's classic costume. That was really fun. She draws up Clint's costume when she's telling him that he needs to work on his branding. So there were some fun little nods and fun Easter eggs in it, and I really enjoy the sense of humor and the action in this series so far. all in all, I'm having a very good time with it. I think it's a smart and a fun Marvel series that kind of brings us back to the roots of what made Marvel great in the first place, and that is not cosmic stakes, not world-ending consequences for what happens. This is a story of two characters, and the stakes are personal, and I love that. Clint and his family are at stake. Kate is at stake, and that's all that I need to be, emotionally engaged and curious to see where things go. But I really do think it's a great show, and I wanted to say a quick shout out to Ewok Da Silva. Do you think Kazi will get the clown look from the comic at some point? I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Let me look it up real quick. I didn't know Kazi was even a comic book character. So just so that everybody's on the same page, I am a real big movie fan that used to collect comic books, but I don't know a whole lot about them. So I wasn't familiar with the clown makeup. But I appreciate you putting me on to something I didn't know about. It's pretty subdued. I could see him doing it. I mean, it's just a little white face, black lipstick, black tear. I like the art style in those comics, though. They're really neat. Caleb, let me welcome my co-host to the show finally. But before I do, definitely recommend checking out Hawkeye. You will be able to find a review for every episode here on the channel. And also, keep an eye out because I believe I will be reviewing the finale with Holden Hardman right here on the YouTube channel. With all of that out of the way, let's say what's up to Caleb Miles. What's up, Caleb?
How's it going, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Just got off work and ready to talk about movies and other bullshit that we talk about.
I know that it's pretty early, but did you feel like the conversation went well with your boss?
Yeah, I feel like it at least went opportunity. The door's not shut.
Good. Glad to hear that.
I'll take that all day, every day.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. If the conversation's not over, then you still got room to sell, baby.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah, no doubt.
You look, just for you, I got some Christmas cheer in the stream. Do you see it? See it behind me?
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it, man.
Just for you.
Thank you.
I also have a big tree down in the living room.
It's December 2nd. I think we're good. We are on the other side of November. If it were last Thursday, dude, I don't know that I would be able to.
We put up before Thanksgiving.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah, I always do.
All right, I guess.
That's the way to do it, man. Eat Thanksgiving with a Christmas tree in the background.
So have you seen anything good over the last couple of days?
So I have one episode left of Arcane. Which is incredible. Still banging that drum. I think it's incredible. Everyone needs to watch the show. And then I've been watching something stupid, but I've been watching a show called The Chocolate School or something like that.
I haven't heard of that one.
It's this guy. You might have actually seen his videos. He kind of went viral on Facebook and everything, where he does these like incredible chocolate sculpture statues, and it's like a show, like a competition show. But what I like is they don't kick someone off every week. Every person, whether they're the worst person in the class, they stay through the whole show.
Okay.
So they have opportunities, like it's a school, you're going to get better as we do this. And at the end, he'll announce a winner.
Have you ever watched The Great British Bake Off?
I have not.
Okay. You might like it. It's kind of similar, and actually it's a competition show, but like sometimes one of the contestants will be like down and out, and another one of the cooks will like come over and help them with the recipe. Like it's very communal and like a lot of bonding. See,
I like that more. I like that a lot more than just like kicking people off. And it was always kind of why I liked, you remember Face Off?
Yeah.
First of all, incredible show because we like movies, but it was always the reason I liked that. It wasn't like in Face Off, they just, didn't help each other and all that. Like you saw people actually working together, and I like reality TV without the reality TV drama.
Yeah. It got to be like one format for everything, and so to see people deviate from it even just a little bit is cool. Hey, we got German Rifter in the chat. What's up, Daniel? Thank you for coming by. It is always a pleasure to see you in the chat. I know it's probably pretty late for you, so we appreciate you coming by. But, well, that's cool. Yeah, I've been getting caught up on The Matrix and rewatching those, so I won't spend a lot of time talking about it. You are all very familiar with The Matrix, but I'm getting stoked about this new movie, and we are going to discuss that once we do get into the show a little bit later on. But what else have I been watching? I also have watched Arcane, and it is so fucking cool.
Do you still think it's the same art style?
No,
it's not.
Not at all. Not at all.
Not at all. It's so brilliant.
Who's your favorite character?
That's a hard one. I really like the little like elf creature furry guy.
Yeah,
he's super cool. Honestly, I like them all. I feel like that's what makes it so good. Is that the writing for all the characters is incredible.
I came in with a Jinx bias, and I really like the way they did her in it. She's real Harley Quinn-esque character.
Yeah, I was just gonna say she's Harley Quinn.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a thing, absolutely, with the League of Legends characters. There's just such a large roster that when you look at each of them, you're like, oh, that's kind of like a analog for that.
I don't know about you though. Like, I will, if they keep up this quality, I will watch any damn show with this quality. Give me any character from that League of Legends. I could care less about the game. I want to watch all of it.
Watching the show hasn't made you more curious about the game?
No, not at all.
All right. Well, I figured I'd give it a shot, man. I need somebody to fucking play with me.
I do have a sad story though.
Oh God.
I finally had some time. My wife wasn't working. She was watching my daughter. I get so excited to go up and finally watch Dune. Turn on the projector, log into HBO Max, and Dune's no longer on it.
What? Are you serious?
I was so mad, dude.
Damn.
Because I was literally like a kid in a candy store. I was so like, I was like a kid on Christmas Day.
Well,
like,
yeah, you'd been specifically trying to set aside enough time to do it.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I have the night. There's no reason why I can't watch this in one sitting. Dude, my heart broke. I was so mad. I was like, I don't want to watch anything else.
Damn it, man. That sucks.
I did watch the first episode of Hit Monkey.
How is it?
It's pretty good. I'm not sold on it yet, but I don't dislike it. I need to give it more time.
I heard it was pretty good, but I haven't heard a lot of people like raving about it.
It's not like how I felt with MODOK, where like afterwards I was like, everyone needs to watch MODOK. And I was, maybe I set the bar too high because it was another Hulu Marvel show.
Yeah.
And they knocked it out of the park with MODOK. So I was like, it's good. I need to watch a couple more episodes before I really sink my teeth into it.
You want to hear something sketchy?
Huh?
Razzle Squad is outside of your house right now screaming, Dune!
It's a little sketch.
I haven't Razzle Squad, but I will definitely be checking out the new Chucky show. Caleb, is that something you're interested in?
Yeah, I definitely am interested in it. I'm not like super excited, but I definitely am interested.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, I like the Child's Play franchise, seen every entry into it, enjoy the character of Chucky, but I also, like, it's not my favorite thing, and there's a lot of stuff out there right now, but I've been wanting to watch this Child's Play series for a long time. I've actually probably made a half a dozen videos, at least, where I talked about it, so it's definitely something that I gotta scratch off the list.
I feel like you and me talked about it probably like 5 different times.
Yeah, we did.
So it definitely is something that we've talked about.
And is it? I think it's a sci-fi, but I don't know where that means I can watch it.
Yeah, do they stream anywhere?
That's what I'm curious about. I don't know if it's like Peacock, USA, and Sci-Fi, and I don't have either of those, so I don't know how to watch it.
Oh, I do have Peacock. That is something I watched. I watched the third Psych movie, which I love Psych. This movie is horrible, just like the entire show is, and I loved every second of it.
I was about to say, that's a show, and I had no idea there were other movies of it already.
There's 3 now.
Oh, wow.
It's the show that will not go away. It's like Futurama.
All right. Hey, I'm a fan of that, and I hear there's new South Park.
Yeah, it's on, what's the streaming service now? The other one?
I thought it was on HBO. I was surprised that it wasn't.
No, it's now on Paramount Plus.
Jesus Christ, dude. That's okay. So Peacock, as of December 1st, we can watch Child's Play there. Chucky season 1.
Doesn't it suck? It's just like there's just too much now.
We've been talking for a couple of years. Do you think we're going to get back to a premium subscription service that has them all like a bundle package called cable?
We're going there. It's pretty much ending up being cable.
I have watched all of the movies. It looks like Razzle Squad said it was kind of some CW bullshit human actor-wise, but Chucky himself is so good. Hey, that's what we're there for. That's what we're there for. And I have seen all of the movies, so I'm pretty fucking familiar with the lore of it. Sizzle Reel's never seen Dune 2021, but has seen 21 and hasn't seen 84. Did you ever watch the 84 Dune?
Yeah, it's not good.
It's so fucking weird that you kind of gotta watch it.
Yeah, it's an experience, but do you think it's good?
Nah.
No, not at all.
That's
kind of where I'm
weird.
at. Like, I don't think it's necessarily a good, show.
I feel like going back and rewatching the 1984 Dune after seeing the new version helped me understand it a lot better.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. And I did want to mention real quick, I didn't say it up at the top, but I actually just now joined Sizzle Reel over on his channel. The video's not up yet, but we did a reaction to The Matrix Ressurections. So make sure that if you're not subscribed to Sizzle Reel, head over there real quick, click the fucking subscribe button, then click the little bell. That way when that video does get uploaded, you can check it out. And plus, there's a lot of really good content over there. He's an exceptional editor, lighting, all that stuff's really good. He's got some technical prowess, and I really enjoy hearing his take. So make sure to check out Sizzle Reel. Let's see. Leo says you're paying just as much for cable, but it comes at a premium to see it in your own time on an app. But all of them together, isn't it like $100 a month? I was trying to calculate that earlier, Caleb.
I'm trying to think what I have. So I buy anything that will let me. I buy it for the entire year. If they allow me, I just pay up front. So like Criterion is $100 a year. I just paid it out front because I was like, okay, cool, that's easier. And then ESPN is like $50 or $40 a year. I paid that outright. And then Funimation is like $50 a year. I paid that outright.
Oh wow!
So just that alone is like $200 a year.
Yeah. And okay, so I've got Disney Plus, Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Netflix, Hulu.
So I got Disney. I got Disney. I got HBO. No, I canceled HBO. I got Netflix, Hulu, and I think Peacock's like another 10.
I think I have Peacock. I'm pretty sure I've got Peacock. It's so hard to even keep track of what I have. I have Apple streaming, whatever that is called, Apple Plus.
So I'm probably spending, it's actually not that bad when I add everything in together, like maybe $600 a year.
$600. So $50 a month.
That's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
That's a lot of content.
Mark has been raving about Dope Sick. Have you watched it yet?
No, it's been in my queue forever, and it looks incredible. Never touched it.
Okay, that sounds like one we need to check out because he's been championing it as well as a couple of other people I talked to.
Have you been watching Reservation Dogs?
I fucking love Reservation Dogs, dude.
So good,
Isn't
dude. It's literally New Mexico. Like, I feel like as much as you love it, if you're from New Mexico, Arizona, somewhere like that, you're just like the way they talk, the A and all that. It's like, so it's like if you watch the show about Florida where you're like, yeah, they just nailed it. That's how I feel about this show.
All right. Yeah, dude. I like the kids a whole lot. I love that Bobby Lee's in it. And the guy that plays Big, the sheriff, he's in Westworld and Dr. Sleep. I really like that guy. He actually showed up in episode 3 of Hawkeye as well.
Oh, I started watching Tiger King 2.
Oh, yeah. What'd you think?
It's awful. It's such a cash grab. They're like, here's this YouTuber. It's like a guy like us who just talks about Tiger King and they do a whole bit on it.
For sure.
I mean, maybe we should start talking about Tiger King and we can be on Tiger King 3.
Fuck yes, dude. We'll be the last ones holding down.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, Sizzle Reel, I think that if you don't want to know anything about what happens in the second Dune, you should not watch the 1984 version. However, I will also say that many of the people that watched and enjoyed the 2021 movie are diehard fans of the novels. I don't know that it's that kind of getting spoiled. I don't think there's any big revelations or twists like that.
And I will say, if you watch the original, you're probably not going to know what's going on anyway.
Yeah.
So you're probably still good.
Yeah, that's a good point. Everybody's mentioning Reservations Dog as being great. Love to hear it.
It's so good.
And it's also like representation done authentically. You know what I mean? Like those people are so spot on.
It's so like not overdone. They're not like caricatures, but they still are like representative. I just think it's incredible.
You know, Taika Waititi's a producer on that.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
He's so brilliant just in general.
King Dingling wants to know if either of us have watched Yellowstone. I didn't even know that was a show.
No, but literally, it's funny that he brings this up. My brother has been just recently, my younger brother has been bugging me about it. He says he started watching it and he's obsessed. And he's just been binge watching.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good recommendation. We might check out Yellowstone and report back to you. But for now, we're going to go ahead and switch gears because we spent a little minute talking about that stuff. We're going to go ahead and talk now about some of this week's weird news headlines in a segment I call, oh, shit. In a segment I call, I don't have the graphics. Oh, no.
I like the segment if we just call it, oh, shit. In the segment I call, oh, shit.
Let's see. The Worldwide Weird. Okay, here we go. And I got to take you with me. Yikes. Let's see here. Meet. Copy.
I was looking for my cell phone holder so I could see the chat. And I'm like, I don't know where the hell I put it. Because I redid my whole desk and I don't know where anything is now.
And there's that. And might as well do it to the other ones as well. So that I don't have to do this every time. And paste duplicate and paste duplicate. Fun times. All right, and the Worldwide Weird. I got some good ones this week. Very much looking forward to getting your hot takes on these ones, Caleb. All right, so first story is storm trapped dozens of people in a remote pub in the UK, forcing them to endure cold, snow, wind, and an Oasis cover band for 3 torturous days.
So it made them be in the UK.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I thought the UK was every day. I didn't know this was anything different.
So, up on a hill in Yorkshire, a crowd filled a pub on Friday to listen to an Oasis tribute band. Inside the pub, the Tan Hill Inn, the beer was cold, the fires were warming, and the musicians were electric. But outside, the winds were howling and the snow was swirling. The pub patrons knew the forecast was dire, but not so much that piles of snow as high as 3 feet would block the pub's exit. Well, first of all, dude, what would you say was a snow in Denver? How many feet of snow?
I don't know. I've never seen it snow in. I know when we had like 2.5, almost 3 feet, we still were open.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, let me make sure I've got you up on the freaking monitor. I just think,
because, so let's see. What is the average snowfall? I love this mechanical keyboard, but it is not good while we're streaming.
Clackety-clack. Yeah, mine's the same way. So the tribute band is called Noasis, and they finished their set, and this was a Sunday night, and the patrons, the band members, and 7 inn employees stayed the night because they were stuck, and then another, and on Sunday night, they stayed another. The roads weren't safe to travel, so they just set up like little cots and blankets and stuff all over the inn. Are you familiar with what a British pub looks like on the inside?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming it looks like any British pub you see across America.
Like a house, even.
Really?
Yeah, they're furnished in a way that almost like there's a fireplace in it. It's almost just like a den of a house, and everybody's just kind of laid in there sleeping.
I'm picturing like Shaun of the Dead.
That's a good frame of reference. I don't know if there's like a separate living quarter inside of it. My mom actually, when she goes to Wales, she stays in the loft of a pub. She knows the owners of it, so it's like a house above the bar, and maybe that's what we're looking at here. Did you find out what the snowfall is?
And we average about 58 inches of snow each winter, but I don't know what like the actual snowfall of the thing is.
Did you say 2 inches?
58 inches.
58 inches. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's different. German Rifter, $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Coming through clutch. 1 for the animation, 2 for the nostalgia, even though it's not Florida Man news. Hey, man, stick around. We might just talk a little bit of Florida Man soon.
Also, Leo, yes. Leo asked, does Caleb have kids? He has big dad energy. Yes, I have one kid.
Yep, for sure. One dad, one kiddo.
I also have one dad.
Weird. Yeah, so I don't know. I just think it's a kind of funny story. They ended up seeming like they were having a good time. No one was getting loud and drunk because they wanted to be respectful of each other. It sounds like instead of it going like Donner Party, which it could have easily gone, it turned into like a kumbaya.
That sounds not too bad.
Nah, dude. If you get to miss a couple days of work, sleeping in a bar, listening to I wonder how long the cover band played.
Oh, man. I just, in my head, it's just nonstop, 24 hours.
Like the band in the Titanic, they just play as the ship sinks.
They just play until it goes down. They go down with the pub.
Look, I know that people like want to hate on Oasis cover band, but that's a good band, dude. And at least they've got a lot of music.
What songs?
Wonderwall would be the one that you probably know. You're my Wonderwall.
Oh, and then Don't Look Back in Anger.
Yeah. And She's Electric, and Champagne Supernova. Champagne Supernova in the sky. Someday you will find me.
Oh, that's probably the one I know the most.
Yeah, for sure. That's a very popular one.
Yeah.
I would be all right with seeing Oasis. Look, I'm just shout out to the cover bands. They probably getting fucking raked as far as headlines everywhere, but the picture of the actual snow in is intense, dude. Like they are under feet and feet of snow.
Snow in. Wonderwall of snow traps drinkers.
Good
headline. Great headline. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of snow.
Isn't that crazy?
Honestly, that's kind of how that looked that day that my wife's, remember I sent you the picture of her car? That's kind of how it looked.
It literally did. And that's how have you had a snow-in experience yet?
No. People are still out driving in this thing because it's freaking insane.
That is insane. Holy crap.
I work from home, so I'm always snowed in. But...
Yeah, man. Holy cow. I just don't understand how it gets to that before you leave.
When it happens quick sometimes.
Is that right?
Yeah, man. There's been some times where I'm like, oh, it's not going to be bad. And next thing I know, like when I was working in jewelry, I'd be at the store. I'd be like, oh, it's not going to be that bad. And then I'd come out and it'd be up to my knees. And I'm a tall guy. Like up to my knees is high.
Damn.
You know, and I remember having to drive. I remember my first snowfall when I moved here. Got out of work at like 10 o'clock at night. They started closing roads, so I didn't get home. Keep in mind, I was probably about 30 minutes away normally. I didn't get home until about 2:30 in the morning from 10 at night because that's how much snow there was.
Oh, my God.
I fell asleep, turned back around at like 5 in the morning to make it back to the work at time at like 7.
That sounds like a nightmare, dude. I would be so upset.
Well, it was kind of good because it was like my first Denver snow, and I was like, this is miserable. What did I get signed up for? And since then, I've never had that bad of a snow again.
Oh, there you go. Now you know the worst of it.
Yeah, it worked out great. So I was like, okay, so now every time when it snows, I'm like, who cares?
Could be worse. Yeah, dude. Yeah. All right, well, that's cool. What else is going on? We've got a story about a preacher claims an alien tried to have sex with her. Caleb. You know I'm not going to let this shit fucking cross the desk and not talk about it.
Preacher Alien sex. This is why I'm happy I don't use my work computer anymore.
All right, let's hear what this crazy broad has to say. End Times preacher Sharon Gilbert says that an alien imitated her husband, and then it tried to have sex with her. Then it claimed to be Xerxes, and then Jesus got involved, and then the alien turned out to be a reptile with a posse of gargoyles. You know, the video's been viewed over 2.6 million times, with many noting the disbelief in their replies. Speaking on the show, Gilbert said, after Derek and I got married, this other Derek appears in our bed. The real Derek is lying down next to me. Other Derek sits up right out of him. It startled me. I knew that it was not Derek, and so I asked this critter, who are you? Because he clearly wanted to have sexual relations. He said, I'm your husband. Who are you? I'm your husband. And she said, who are you? He had the nerve to claim to be Xerxes. I thought other Derek seriously wanted to invite me to use my free will to do something that was going to pull me away from God.
In my head, it looks like actual Xerxes from like the 300 movie.
Yeah. It just sits up out of her husband.
Yeah, I just said it's Xerxes. That's what I picture.
Dude, I want to see the video, but because it just goes on. She continued, the last time I knew he was really desperate, and I asked him again, who are you? And he told me the same answer, and I said, I'm not going with you. This was an internal dialogue, and finally I said I had enough in my mind. I reached up, I grabbed his face, and I said, you are a liar, and Jesus is real. I pulled that face off, and beneath it was a reptile. He had little creatures with him this time. He brought these little halfling creatures, and they looked like gargoyles, and they were very reptilian as well. Beneath the face of Derek was a reptilian serpentine creature. This bitch has got all of her stories.
Dude, I love it.
Do you?
I love it. Yeah, man. She's like
too.
going lizard people, gargoyles. It's awesome.
Yeah, dude, she's just listing off like mythical creatures from some sort of alphabetical index, I think. There was leprechauns.
I love it.
There was gargoyles. EFGHIJKL. Oh, no. There were gargoyles. There were leprechauns. There were reptilians. One Twitter user wrote, it happens. Who among us hasn't pulled their husband's face off to find a horny reptilian?
I like the part where she's like, the real Derek is lying down next to me. Other Derek sits up right out of him.
Yeah, dude, it's bizarre. I want to see what the lady... Oh, I see what the lady looks like. She looks like a reptilian.
She looks like a Karen. Like, what do you think of it when you think of a Karen?
She does. She does. I feel like I've had that haircut before.
On a tangent, isn't a female preacher not called a preacher? Isn't there another word for it?
A preachette?
I'm going to Google this. What do you call it? It's like a pastorette or something like that. I don't know why this is why I got stuck
I call them crazy. You know what I'm saying, bro? Get.
It's a pastoress. That's what it's called, right? Apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, learn something new every day.
I did not know that. Mark McKeever, very, very astute observation. Sounds like the next A24 movie.
That's great.
Someone slipped her some drugs. Yeah, what's up? Oh my God, I'm on fire. What's up? Yeah, I could definitely see that being one of the effects of this. End Times preacher Sharon Gilbert. I mean, I wonder how many followers she has.
Let's find out. Sharon Gilbert.
This is the story a 7-year-old tells you when you ask them why they're late for something. And then I pulled off their face, and then there was a reptilian underneath.
We're checking her actual Twitter followers because we know that directly translates into real followers.
Yes,
that's how Twitter works.
Correct. I'm glad you did that.
So she has 6,000 followers.
Oh, damn, dude. She's a real influencer.
She's a real influencer.
Let's see what the comments on Reddit have to say about this. I don't want to read about mental illness. I want something funny, damn it. You ever wonder why some people don't realize that dreams aren't real? Not very good comments there. I guess when the lady has 6,000 followers, you just don't want to criticize because they might send the Illuminati on you.
Here's the real question. If one night you roll over and you pull off Victoria's face and you see a lizard, and the lizard's still like, hey, I still want to get busy with my lizard face, do you just say, yeah, sure, why not?
Oh, dude, at that point, you got to.
You're already in, right?
Correct. And what are you going to do, dude? Miss out on an opportunity? This story would have been so much better if it was, I had sex with a lizard demon 100%. Alien. Yeah.
You know, that's what I want. Like, I would want my lizard face wife to have sex with me while gargoyles watched in Santa Claus uniforms.
Dude, little halfling gargoyle alien reptiles.
Because when are you going to have that sort of sexual experience again?
Pick a fucking lane, lady. You know what I mean? You're mixing your lore all up. Is this science fiction? Is it fantasy? Is it horror? I can't tell anymore.
She just did some bestiality with some like little people in the room, and this is what she thought happened. They were just watching. They're like, I don't know what's going on.
Lady, that was your pet iguana. What the fuck?
Yeah.
All the crazies have 5,000 plus followers on Twitter.
That's real. Usually they're verified too. The craziest people, they'll have a blue check mark. You're like, how the hell?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So one last one from the Worldwide Weird, and this is another just a great headline. Georgia webcam model who makes risque videos for cash accidentally shot herself in the vagina, cops say. Vaginal discharge is normal in most cases.
How did she shoot herself in the vagina?
Dude, and was it like into the vagina? Is it just like grazed the vagina?
If it went into like a Texas heart shot, I'm assuming that would kill you.
Georgia webcam model 27 accidentally shoots herself in the genitals with a 9mm handgun in pornographic video gone horribly wrong. Lauren Hunter Damon accidentally discharged the 9mm handgun while alone in her bedroom on the morning of November 9th. Officers were called to her home, which she shares with at least 3 others around noon, receiving a report of an accidental gunshot wound. Upon arrival, police learned from the paramedic already at the scene that Damon had shot herself in her vagina accidentally. Yeah, you would think it was accidentally. Officers learned that one of Damon's housemates, that the woman works as a webcam model for Chatterbait. Man, I would have loved to have been watching that show. Dude, I would have climaxed so hard.
You'd just been all over it.
Just the second that gun went off.
So was she using the gun like as a dildo?
I think so. I think that she was paid a substantial amount of money to do some sort of like toy play with the gun. And somehow...
Why would you do it with a loaded gun?
Dude, I don't know why you would do any of that.
Any of it, but make sure it's not loaded.
Yeah. I mean, that's the practical question, but it's just a whole thing, dude. Like, alone in her bedroom. I mean, she's fine. That's a good thing. It doesn't sound like it's that severe of a issue. I wonder if it's going to make her Chatterbait blow up more. Like,
probably.
Oh, we've actually got the police report here. On arrival, I made contact with the EMS in the driveway. She had her unloaded handgun in her left hand with a magazine, an unspent bullet, and spent casing in the other. She stated that the female had shot herself in the vagina. I collected the firearm. I observed the casing for the gun to be a .380 round as I secured it in my patrol vehicle. At this time, the sergeant arrived on the scene. The resident was visibly upset. He advised that he had been in the kitchen walking back to the bedroom when he heard the gun go off. He advised he went into the bedroom and observed a small amount of blood on Lauren's leg. He advised that she started saying that she was sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, God.
She's honestly lucky she didn't die. That could have killed her.
Oh, my God. Yeah, dude. She thinks she was recording at the time that the video went off, or that the gun went off. He asked who the gun belonged to, and she said it was his gun, the other roommate, but had been in the family for a long time.
Yeah, I'm not doing any genital gunplay. Not even attempting that.
No, 2 things that never, ever should be used in the same sentence.
No.
Never used in the same place. Just no. I mean, and with all the Alec Baldwin stuff going on right now, dude, this is just one more freaking stick in the fire. That sounds so American. Yeah, it does.
It does. I saw that too. Like, that's,
Shot right in the pussy. Somebody said prude. I don't think they're talking about you.
About me?
That they're joking because you said you weren't into it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, America indeed.
Yeah,
America
that is the most American story. You have a woman getting naked for money as she shoots herself in the vagina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if it gets more American than that.
Damn, I wish I had that video, dude. Damn, I wish I had that video.
You wish you had it like for personal use?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna put the video on. I'm gonna get my dick out, and then I'm gonna pull out my 45. I'm just gonna try to not get confused as to what hands and what.
Just slap them both together. See what happens. Man. See which discharges first.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, I enjoyed that one. And you know, the fun doesn't stop there when it comes to what people will do for sex and money. I guess that this doesn't apply to the world of what you would do for sex, but Florida woman offers sex act in exchange for chicken McNuggets.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's a good deal.
Page not found. Come on, man. This is the reason why we're doing this podcast tonight.
It's just for the chicken nuggies and the sex.
Yes. Woman offers sex. Chicken.
For chicken nuggets.
Dude, I mean, what would you do for a Klondike bar? Forget that.
What
dude.
would be one food that you would offer sex for?
Oh, dude, that's a good question. I guess it depends on what kind of mood I was in, but there are some days, dude, like as far as fast food goes, where a fucking flame-broiled Whopper Jr. just sounds really good, but then again, they cost $1.
That's your low bar. It's like, just give me a fast food cheeseburger. I don't know. I feel like it would definitely have to be something expensive, right? I mean, it has to be something.
I mean, I guess it could be a Whopper Jr., dude.
I mean, it has to be like lobster and steak at least.
Oh, so you're not talking about quality. You're not talking about taste profile. You're talking about monetary value. You're trying to sell these lobsters afterwards.
No, even me. I'm like, I'm going to be an expensive date. If I'm doing the nasty.
But not a 6-piece nugget from McDonald's?
No, I can go buy my own 6-piece nugget.
Police recently arrested and detained a Florida woman after she allegedly offered oral sex in exchange for $25 in an order of chicken McNuggets. Come on, dude.
Also, to interrupt, Leo said, have you ever eaten sushi off a person? Yes, I have.
No, I haven't.
You're missing out, man.
I have eaten a person that tasted like sushi.
You've eaten a person off of sushi.
Wagyu steak. There you go. That's a reasonable answer.
That's a good one. Better than flame broiled Whopper.
I don't know what you mean, dude.
I love that your bar's so low.
$25 and chicken McNuggets for a blowy. She would. For $25 and chicken McNuggets.
Do we have a picture of her? Because I can already picture what this girl looks like.
At certifiedintel.com, woman who offered sex act. You'll find it's like the first one. And no, she's what you think.
Yeah, she's totally a. Does she look like a crackhead? That's why I picture.
No,
she got some rough skin. There's some picking going on.
Yeah, there's some picking going on.
It's either that or too much fast food or both.
Okay. Alex Dorino, 22, was taken into custody and charged with prostitution and drug paraphernalia. According to a court document in Manatee County, an undercover cop pulled into the gas station, picked up Dorino, and drove to a planned site where detectives would arrest the suspect. The two agreed to the bizarre transaction after a few seconds of bartering the fee for the sexual act.
Man.
Yeah, she had a pipe, hypodermic needles, and many tiny plastic bags. They were on heroin and crack cocaine.
What a shocker.
Yeah, I'm shocked that you would even want any sort of food when you're on crack.
Yeah, I know.
That's the shocker. Oh, shit, dude. Get a McRib thrown in there. Yeah, that is a good deal for a BJ. I agree.
McRib? Or the Nuggets? The Nuggets is a good exchange.
The
Nuggets for BJ?
The $25 in the Nuggets.
I don't know, man. BJ's are free.
Yeah, you're right. But when you're at work?
Well, I work from home, so technically.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right. Well, that was a Florida Man headline, and I am glad that we did it. And here is another Florida Man headline. So let me just go ahead and make a graphic that reflects that we are not talking about just regular worldwide weird anymore. We're talking about Florida Man. All right. So this last Florida Man headline: no arrests after hundreds of children involved in a brawl at a Tampa trampoline park. Dude, how amazing is that?
What are the ages of these children?
I mean, it's what the place is called. Sky Zone. Have you heard of a Sky Zone before?
Yeah, I've heard of Sky Zone.
I think they have them everywhere. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up this video real quick.
I know we have them here. Sky Zone Brawl. Is that Sky Zone Brawl sounds like a great multiplayer game.
It does. Oh shit. Window capture.
Dude, honestly, there's too many of these that pop up. There's like one from 2020.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wowie.
Apparently people just going and popping off that.
Maybe it's from 2020.
No, there's two of them. There's at least two of them that popped up.
That is wild. I'm completely here for it. Let's see.
There's also another one from July 19th of this year.
Dude, that is so crazy.
Dude, apparently that there's just a bunch of fights breaking out in Sky Zone.
It's like a brawl of a bunch of probably 6 to 10-year-olds.
Is there a video?
Yeah. But they're older than... Wow. That is chaos, dude. Just full-on insanity.
Wild.
It doesn't really look like a brawl, though.
I don't want to watch the video.
Oh, wait. And then there's a fight out front of the... Holy crap, it really did.
I see the YouTube video. I'm clicking on that now.
So the brawl starts inside the ball pit, and then it escalates into the parking lot. Parents who took their kids to the trampoline park in Tampa want to know how a fight turned into a massive brawl involving hundreds of children. That escalated very quickly, according to a parent. They were all having fun, and then when this lady said, "Oh my God," I turn around and look, they're fighting on the right side. They say the fight unfolded while they were at the Sky Zone trampoline park with her 9-year-old son. She's not sure what started the fight, but it quickly got out of control. 200 kids, mostly teenagers.
Ridiculous, man.
What would you do as a parent?
I'd find my kid, pull him out, and then I would beat my kid's ass for acting this way.
What if your kid didn't have anything to do with it? Like, what kind of recourse do you have against something like that?
Like, if my kid did, like, against my kid or against other parents, what recourse do I have?
If you're there at the place and all of a sudden there's this 200-person brawl and, like, you and your kid are just kind of, like, stuck in the middle of it, do you go to management? You just
No, dude, you start hulking out and just, like, throwing these little shits all over.
Oh, dude. You guys never got into fights at Chuck E. Cheese? No. YouTube is stopping your stream. Oh, because I played it?
Dude, it's so ridiculous.
I'll hit a kid if someone messes with mine. Yeah. These parents are responsible for their kids acting out that way unless you taught them better.
1000% agree.
I feel like this is, like, those kids are old to be at Sky Zone, but I've never been to one before.
Me either, but I'm assuming it's a bunch of little teenage shits.
That's not fun. I thought it was going to be, like, kids. Like, I want to see 8-year-olds in a brawl.
Yeah, some of these look pretty young, man. Some of these look in that 8 to 9 range.
Damn, dude. Again, wish I was there. Wish I could have
Just
been
to watch.
there. Just a fly on the wall. I'd be throwing
can't.
down fucking wagers, dude, betting on them.
Sometimes you just see kids too, and you're just like, man, you can tell. You're like instantly, you're like, your parents are horrible.
Yeah. Oh man, that shit's funny though. It is funny though. All right, well, I want to talk about The Matrix, man. I haven't done enough of that.
The Matrix. So how are revisiting the films?
Okay, that's I watched the first and second one, over the past couple of nights, and I gotta say, the first one holds up every bit as much as I expected it would, and Reloaded is worse now than when I saw it. I mean, I saw Reloaded, I think, 3 times in the movie theaters. I loved it as a teenager. The martial arts were enough to carry me through the movie. But going back and watching it, I was almost embarrassed that I enjoyed it.
Reloaded's the second one, right? Yeah, it's bad. I remember watching it as a kid and just being like, what the hell?
Really?
Am I watching? Oh, yeah. I was like, this is awful. So I never saw the third.
The choreography was so impressive at the time, but now after The Raid and John Wick and all of that stuff, it feels so like performative and stagey, you know?
It was always bad. I think you just got older.
No, because you liked Wushu. I mean, it's definitely an homage to like flying around and shit, you know?
I've never been a big Wushu fan personally.
Oh, okay. Okay, me neither. I'm with you, dude. I'm on your side.
Yeah, I don't like Wushu. Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of Wushu. But it was like overuse CG and that weird rubber stage where like no one had bones. And I remember even at the time hated it.
Spider-Man looked a little like that in around the same time frame, but for some reason it didn't bother me as much. Yes.
I think as a suspension of disbelief is different when you see a guy in a red spider costume.
I think that's a good point. There are too many times in the fight with Agent Smith where you can see Neo's face is clearly like just a CGI model.
Yeah, it's rough, man. It's definitely not, in my opinion, it's definitely not a solid film.
That said, I really like the themes of The Matrix, and I'm not going to dive super deep into all of that stuff here because I do have a video coming out. Actually, Victoria is doing a video with me where we discuss the Matrix trilogy, which is awesome. She doesn't always do stuff with me.
Does she like the Matrix trilogy?
She's never seen it before.
Oh, cool.
She's now watched, she had seen the first one, and she rewatched it. She's now seen the second one, and she liked it all right.
Okay.
I don't suspect she's going to like Revolutions, but if I keep telling her how bad it is, I'll set the bar really low, and then she might think it's all right.
So my wife the other day was saying something, are you excited about the new Matrix movie? And I was like, well, I guess I'm somewhat excited. I don't really think about it. Well, I know you're like a huge fan of the Matrix. I'm like, when did this ever happen? Like, when did she has made up this thing about me that I'm like this massive Matrix fan.
It's like your favorite thing, dude.
Yeah, literally. She was like, it's like one of your favorite movies. I'm like, what are you talking about? I've never said that.
So are you a fan of The Matrix?
The first one's, yeah, I do think the first one's good.
It's a fucking classic, dude.
It's great. Yeah, the first one's great.
To me, right on the heels of Y2K, at this really pivotal time when the internet was kind of like coming into adolescence, I suppose. It was like not its infancy like in the early 90s anymore, but this is like when the internet started to become a part of people's lives. And I thought they like, as far as cyberpunk, this is the first time we'd seen that kind of cyberpunk story told. I mean, I guess Blade Runner, sort of, probably Blade Runner, but a lot of anime.
A lot of anime. Megazone 23 is pretty much the same thing.
God damn it, Caleb. Dude, I wish you could see what I see right now. Your head is positioned so perfectly in front of the print behind you that you have cat ears like a sexy little Twitch streamer.
Yes, that's what I was going for. I meant to not move that so I could see it on the stream.
Oh, it's so good, dude.
Yes.
I don't know if you can see it on your side, dude.
Oh, I can if I position there.
Yes, dude.
Yes. It's cat ears. It's incredible.
Oh, dude, that was not on purpose either.
Dude, it totally not.
That is too fucking good. I just now screen grabbed that. Hey, you still there? Uh-oh. Caleb, you still there? I hope I didn't lose everyone. Caleb, you still there?
I'm still here.
All right, just lost you for a second. It might have been on my end. What about the Animatrix, Caleb?
The Animatrix?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the Animatrix. I'm a huge fan of those anthology anime. I think they're do a disservice to anime because you don't really get to, in my opinion, fully enjoy it in 10-minute chunks. So I know a lot of people who that's their exposure to anime is that, and they're like, oh, I didn't like Animatrix or the Batman one or whatever. And you're like, well, those were 10-minute anthologies. Do you like 10-minute anthologies? Well, no. Then don't judge a whole genre on that.
Yeah.
So I have mixed feelings about it.
I love Animatrix. I think that even though they vary greatly in quality, some of them are trash and then some of them are exceptional, but the fact that they are telling all of these unique stories within the Matrix universe, which I think is there's so much storytelling potential because it's a computer program in a simulation, so you can do anything. Like they talk about one version of the Matrix where it was like vampires and werewolves and all of these supernatural entities, and so like you could do a horror Matrix movie, and they did a lot of that with the Animatrix. So I thought it was super cool in that way, and I like how it kind of shows the origins of the conflict between the machines and the people.
It's essentially like Love, Death, and Robots in the Matrix world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which Love, Death, and Robots is incredible.
It is. It really is good. That second season had some awesome shit in it. That last episode.
I'll watch all of them. As long as they're willing to do that show, I'll watch it.
So yes, oh my God, I'm on fire. We have seen Animatrix, and it is, big fan of it. I agree, Mark. The first one was amazing, and the two sequels seem like fan fiction.
I feel like, well, I never saw the third, but definitely feel that way about the second.
Yeah, they got too high on their own supply, I think, because the first one was just so freaking well regarded. But the new trailer came out, and it is about 45 seconds long, and it has a ton of imagery in it, but like not really much dialogue. There might be one line of dialogue in the trailer, and it's basically a female voice saying, fuck what you heard. Basically, like the whole thing comes down to like, you don't know this story. It's different than you think it is.
Is it still, it's a reboot, right? Or of this, it takes place after the first? Does it take?
That's a good question. It really could take place. This could be the first version of the Matrix, but in the trailer, one of the characters says, oh, this must be to Neo. Oh, must be so exciting to go back to where it all began, to go back to the Matrix. So I think Trinity's the hero. I think that this new Matrix movie is about Trinity, and that Neo ends up kind of being the second fiddle in it. I don't think it'll start off that way. I think Keanu Reeves is still going to be top billed, but I think the savior is going to end up being Trinity. And I'm cool with that. I think that a lot of what has happened in Lana Wachowski's personal life is going to tie heavily into the themes of the movie. And I'm kind of here for it. I like people like
putting themselves into their art.
Yeah. 100%. I think that's what art should be. And I know like we live in cynical times. So the fact that Warner Brothers is doing anything makes me very happy. Like I love Dune. I thought Matrix was great. I was talking about favorite movies from this year on Twitch a couple days ago, and I mentioned all sorts of movies. A lot of them are on HBO Max. Godzilla vs. Kong, like they've done a lot of really good shit this year. In the Heights is one that I didn't mention that I thought was fucking wonderful. So like I'm just stoked that there are people making stuff that aren't Disney, you know?
Yeah, I know, but WB's not that much farther off from Disney.
No, it's the same shit, different band, I guess. You're right. You're right about that.
But I don't know. I do think WB is very weird, man. They sometimes let their artists take a ton of risk, and then other times they won't. They go in and
they just kneecap them.
Yeah, like you see with what they've done with the directors in the DCEU. It's very weird. Very, very weird.
So Oh My God, I'm on Fire says continuation of the story, technically a direct sequel.
Okay.
And yeah, I wonder if it's a direct sequel to The Matrix or if it's a direct sequel to The Matrix
Matrix
Revolutions. Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at.
And if it is a sequel to the first one alone, I think that's kind of become in vogue for Hollywood lately. There's one scene, Caleb, in the trailer where the Matrix movie is playing on a screen and Neo's like in front of it. So I think they're going to be very meta and self-referential this time around. And I think that's how they're going to get because once you open up that Pandora's box and now we know about the Matrix, that was the whole thing, is realizing like, oh my God, this whole thing is fake. It's all a big dream world. And you can only do that one time. You can only pull the fucking curtain back one time. So I think about the past 30 years and all of the most groundbreaking kind of, to me, horror movies, like from Cabin in the Woods to Scream before that, like going meta is a cool way to fuck with audience expectations, even if it's a little trite at this point.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't know. I'm kind of the other way with the whole meta thing. I'm kind of just getting over it. You know, I'm like, everything's meta now. Everything's going to...
It's almost as if it has to at this point. Almost like there's just not too much ground left that hasn't been covered already. So I feel like Marvel does it a lot where they will make in-jokes that are to the audience. Like in Age of Ultron, Clint saying, none of this makes sense. I'm out here fighting aliens with a bow and arrow. Like, that's a kind of meta. But then also like Cabin in the Woods, where there are like literally employees at this dark, shadowy organization that are orchestrating all of the things that are happening within the movie. They're almost the audience surrogates. Scream is a movie that takes place in a world where horror movies exist. So like when we talk about meta, there's a lot of different ways to do it. Is there a specific kind that maybe you like more than others?
I feel like American Werewolf in London, where it's in a universe, or or a zombie movie where it's in a universe where they know zombies. There's zombie lore in pop culture. And like when something comes around, they're like, oh crap, it's a zombie. I feel like that's probably the best way.
Yeah.
The worst way is the in-jokes towards the audience of the wink, wink, nod, nod. We know we're dumb. This is dumb. Don't you? We're all having dumb fun together. I can't stand that stuff.
I don't get that. I'm on a different page than you about that. And that's all right. For me, like sometimes I feel that sometimes you have to acknowledge it. On the other end of the spectrum, you were kind of saying it doesn't have to be cheesy. You can just change it.
Yeah, just change it. If it's cheesy and it doesn't work in cinema, change it. That's my rule. I would much rather than that than go, hey, isn't this dumb? Unless you're doing a parody of it, then that's fine. Like
Batman in the Justice League, that should not work on film. That's the problem with Batman in the Justice League. It's just hard. And
it doesn't work.
It's because of the nature of Batman being a human man, being teamed up with those people. So like in Zack Snyder's Justice League, you got to have Batman in the Justice League, but now he can't acknowledge that I guess you still can.
It's kind of, so Frank Miller did it the best. I mean, this is why that book's loved in The Dark Knight Returns. He looked at it and was like, hey, Batman and Superman would not be friends. Like, let's be real. I know that we made them friends because of comic books, but like they wouldn't. And they would probably hate each other.
Yeah.
So he just changed it and everyone loved it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's see. Spider-Man 3 and Matrix 4 within a week of each other. Merry early Christmas. Yeah.
Man, back to back.
Yeah, it's going to be a big couple weeks at the theater, and I'm pretty sure that Matrix is going to eat shit at the box office.
Oh, it's going to do. And I think it'll do well, but it's not going to do as well as Spider-Man, obviously.
No.
But it'll do well. People love the Matrix, man.
It needed another week to breathe, I feel like. That's going to be just a tough honestly, fucking...
like going up against Disney is like video games dropping around Call of Duty. You just don't do it.
Yeah.
It's going to cannibalize whatever's around it.
And I know that the Matrix is big with, a lot of different people, but I don't know if it's big with young people.
That's actually a good question. I don't know if it is. I think that's something I actually have no idea.
And I
It's
wonder
huge
if
with our age.
yes, yeah, and I wonder if a kid went back and watched it, if they would get. I think it was timing is a big reason why it was as effective as it was, because I feel like a lot of these things that are like revelatory at the time of its release at this point have kind of become old hat.
Yeah, like the internet is not like a new exciting frontier. It's part of everyday life.
And dude, there are so much dystopian science fiction where the whole allegory is that machines are evil, like they're basically the fucking devil. Is that where we're headed?
In real life, the machines are evil? No. I mean, maybe eventually it might happen, but nah, I don't think so.
I was wondering about in the Matrix, like, what does the robot civilization look like? Like, why is it worth fighting for? Like, these artificial intelligence live in a fucking Earth that's been like completely destroyed of any sort of like life, and
like, why are the robots fighting so hard?
Yeah, just survival,
but also maybe not. Maybe, it's that whole thing of maybe their ideal world is a sunless world.
Yeah.
You're approaching it from a human lens, which you're like, that world sucks.
Yeah.
But maybe our world sucks to them.
Yeah. That's something I was kind of, I was talking about the Matrix with a coworker earlier, and she was kind of like, why, what would the robots do if humanity was gone? And I'm like, I don't know. I guess they would have like a utopian society, but there's not like a scene where all of those squids are hanging out, like communicating with each other or something. But that's such a human construct.
The whole thing of them just making humans into batteries is just like the dumbest concept. I love that movie, but it's such a dumb concept.
There's some things you just got to stretch for. Like, it's the same with Cyberdyne. Like, why is Cyberdyne wanting to, I don't know, like a lot of times once you get to the future, it just matters that it's a barren wasteland so that we can go back and stop it from ending up that way, but nobody ever spends any time in that world.
So speaking of being meta, we actually just brought something up. Go. So we were talking about how dumb it is that the humans are batteries. Like, that's the worst.
Yeah, you were talking about that. Go ahead.
It's dumb, But what would be worse is if the Matrix, halfway through the Matrix, said, hey, isn't this a dumb idea that these robots have?
And you don't think that would be good?
No, I think that would ruin all tenseness of that film.
All right, 5 big burning questions from the new Matrix trailer. How is Neo back inside the Matrix? Because there's a scene where it shows that he's being unplugged again, and his conscious is being showed in the trailer. So couple of different thoughts that I had about it. It's possible that we are not actually seeing Neo in the trailer at all, but we're actually seeing the facsimile of him that was created by the machines to give hope to the humanity. Something like that.
That's very possible.
At the end of Revolutions, Neo sacrifices himself to save humanity and reboot the Matrix. We even see the machines carrying away his lifeless body. In Resurrections, Neo appears to have been, resurrected and placed back inside the Matrix. How and why has this happened remains mystery, but there's even more tantalizing questions like, who are the real heroes and villains? The Morpheus character has been recast, but at one scene we see he's got the...
So that dude's still Morpheus?
I don't think he's actually Morpheus.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think he was actually Morpheus, but maybe I'm wrong.
That's interesting, though, because he's dressed exactly like him.
Yeah.
He looks exactly like him. But there's an image in it where he's got the earpiece in, so he looks like he's an agent. So I'm wondering, is this Morpheus guy a former agent that freed himself, or is he a... former agent that freed himself, or is he like not a sleeper agent, but like a double agent who's actually manipulating Neo?
He's either that or he's Finn from Star Wars, where
nope.
He's like no, that's what he is. He's just like an escaped one.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah,
I thought you were like saying it's the same actor. I'm like,
no, I mean it's like the same character. Like, it's either that thing.
Let's see. I don't know. These questions are like, we
King
are
Dingling
so
says
in
it's
the
young
world.
Morpheus.
Which
would make sense if they say go back to where it all began. If they go, You know,
Young Morpheus.
Young Morpheus sounds like a good rap name too.
It does. Yeah, it
That's
does.
a very good rap name.
The Merovingian from the second one, he looks like... Do you remember the Merovingian?
No.
He was the guy that employed the two albino guys.
Oh, yeah.
He owned that big fancy house. He was married to Monica Bellucci or dating her or whatever. He appears in the trailer, only now he looks like a grizzled old homeless person. So it's like, is he... how do you grow? I guess they grow old and shit inside the Matrix.
Yeah.
That was always an interesting thing to me, though, because it's like you look the way that you perceive yourself to look. I almost thought of it as being like you see yourself as the idealized version of you, but I feel like that would be static. It would only exist in one fucking specific place and time and not like grow and age and all that stuff.
The idolized version?
The idealized, yeah.
Yeah. Like you would like it more as they're just like avatars?
I don't mind it. I just am curious as to why, if they say that, which I thought they said in the original film, that basically Neo is just the way that he wanted to see himself inside the Matrix. But then do you want to see yourself age?
I think correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't seen this movie in years, but I think it's just because humans, you're still aging in this battery thing.
Yeah, you are.
So I think they just do it there to not, break immersion.
Dude, it is so hard to talk about this. I was on that other channel earlier today, and I was just like some of these concepts are just so abstract, and without a little bit more info to go on, it makes it really difficult to even fucking make sense of a lot of it. But
you're making me want to go back and watch these because I loved that first movie.
You really should. Just if nothing else, dude, it's good conversation. Are you familiar with the Plato's The Cave?
No, I'm not.
It's kind of like philosophy. It's kind of introduction to philosophy. In fact, the story of the cave is kind of an allegory for what it's like to get woke. Basically, there are a group of prisoners and they're trapped in this cave, and there's a fire behind them that casts shadows onto the cave walls. And every once in a while, people will pass objects by in front of the fire, which casts the shadows onto the walls. And so when people see these shadows of horses, that's what they believe to be horses. If they see a shadow of a person, that's what they believe to be people. This is all they've ever seen. This is all they ever know. They're chained up. They can't turn around or anything. Well, one of the prisoners is taken away from the cave and let out into the world where they see things as they really are. And that person tries to go back into the cave and tell the fellow people that were trapped there with them that there's way more to the world than what they're seeing, and they basically violently reject his premise and choose to live blind as opposed to being awakened.
I'm totally gonna read it. It's only 36 pages. You can read that like no time.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and it's basically just about philosophy, like how learning the truth can be destructive, and then when you try to share that truth with other people, they just like kind of would rather not hear it.
I love stuff like this, man. Anything that's like older to read is just interesting to me anyway. Speaking of that, I'm about halfway now done with Journey to the West, the book I'm never going to finish.
Oh, really? How is
it? It's incredible. It's incredible, but it is boring and dry and a slog because it's written in the 16th century. So it's not like a fun read, but the story's good.
Journey to the West?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
Journey, yeah. You've seen, I guarantee. I mean, it's what like Goku was based on.
Oh, really?
So it's the Monkey King.
That's cool. Yeah, I am familiar with that.
And it's definitely, I'm trying to find the hard copy books for my office because I'm going to be one of those people who just puts out books to prove how cool they are, the stuff they've actually read. And hard copies of these are like $700. I'm like,
holy shit.
I guess I'm not getting these in hard copies.
That scenario you just described, Rick has a mic to burst power.
Oh, I saw this where he goes, I forget who said it, but I think it might have been Leo. It's like we could do a society where when we work out at the gym, it provides Power. And then someone said, "Oh, it's a Rick and Morty episode." Which it is.
Oh, I love that show. Neil Patrick Harris is really playing. That's a good question, Mark. I know that he's got blue-rimmed glasses, which conventionally would lead us to believe that, oh, he must be a part of the, like, a construct of the Matrix. Oh, I might have just I'm starting to lag real bad.
Oh no.
I think that means it's about time to wrap it up so the video don't fall apart on us. But real quick, last thoughts. Are you taking into consideration everything we've talked about? One good movie, two not so good movies, a new movie coming out that is going to be a continuation of the franchise. Are you looking forward to seeing this? Is this one that you're going to make time for?
I don't know. It's hard. Like it's one of those things sometimes when I love a movie a lot and the second one sucks, I kind of just like, well, I'd rather cut my losses now before it's completely ruined for me.
Yeah, I get it. I think there's enough in all of them to make them worth a watch. You just have to just know going in they're not any substitute for the first one.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard to do.
I know that I am very much looking forward to it. That said, I am trying to keep my expectations very, very low. That way I'm not just tragically disappointed if it doesn't work out.
That's the way to go into everything, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
Keep your expectation low so that you're not just disappointed when it happens.
So what's next for you movie-wise? What's on the horizon that you're excited about?
I actually just put a bunch of stuff into my Netflix queue. Oh, I know what it is. Green Snake. On Netflix. So, well, actually White Snake, because I've never seen White Snake, which is the previous one. But do you remember that movie that I raved about, that animated film? God, I can't think of it. Neji or whatever, Neshi.
I do, yeah.
Or whatever it's called. It's the same director of that. Or Neja or whatever. Neja. Neja Reborn. It's the same director of that. I guess White Snake was his first film. Neja Reborn, not anything to do with those, was his second film as a director, and this is his third. All in. If they are even half as good as Neja Reborn, all in. This also has Monkey King, Journey to the West references in it, so it's kind of cool.
All right. Well, I'm definitely curious to check that out. I don't know if you're aware, there's a White Snake live action film. The Legend of the Green Snake, I'm sorry.
With Jet Li. There's a White Snake with Jet Li.
This is women that actually look like snakes. They got
so
snake
search
tails.
White Snake Jet Li. I know there is I'm assuming it's the Sorcerer and the White Snake or something. I think it's the same story. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm definitely curious about it. Guys, let us know if you have any recommendations or any movies that you're excited about seeing down in the comments section. Thank you very much for coming by and being a part of this conversation. It's always a pleasure to hear from you and to know that you'd stop by to spend a little bit of time out of your week to talk movies with us. If you want to stay up to date with all of the content, do me a favor, take a second, subscribe. Make sure you're also subscribed to Gaming is Terrible. Caleb's got some great content over there, and he's got some more on the way soon. Caleb?
I do, actually. It's just I've been putting everything into my new job, so I haven't had, trying to set the bar high.
Yeah, man. Good luck with that, by the way. I'm sure it's going to work out for you. I'm sure you're going to get the promotion you're after.
If I don't get it, I'm still in a good spot with this company. So Either way, it's a win.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming by as always. And until next time, and on behalf of both me and Caleb, be terrible.
Speaking of that, how does this mic sound? It feels really echoey in my headphones. How does it sound? Does it sound really echoey? I can't tell if it's in my headphones or in the actual recording. Okay.